Good morning!
Sound of our teen sports listeners, I'm your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday,
9 a.m.
Welcome! I'm so excited today. Angela Miller Bevan is in the house, and when she's here, I light up like a little candle. How you doing?
Oh, thank you. You make me light up like a little candle.
Yeah, I gave you 10 minutes notice and I begged. I put prayer hands and she always says, she's in the car dun, 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 with her broomstick. Dun, 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 dun. Thank you so much. CEO of Unity Shop. We love you. We totally respect you. You do amazing things in this community. And, you're one of my besties. Also in the house, Kristine Marie, owner of A View from the Deck. Another one of my little shining lights. How you doing, Kristine?
I'm good. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Barbara Doux. Hey, Barbara, congratulations to you. You came in
so
third,
much,
right?
Say yes. Third of the jury award. So I'm celebrating for sure. Thank you.
So explain what that was.
So it was a 90-second short film contest in Santa Barbara for Illuminate Film Festival. And I won the third prize for the jury award.
So, nice.
Yeah.
Well, we all saw it. We all viewed it. We all shared it. It's a beautiful 90-second piece. Do you have any kind of inspiration for next year's? Because I know third is not first. You got to keep, crawling. So what are you going to do? Do you have any inspiration for next year's ideas?
Well, maybe it could be something with the guest that we're having today. Who knows?
Woo! Are you serious? An international photographer is interesting on doing a piece with Melissa's like, seriously? Is this really happening to me? Yes, it does happen here on Teen Sports Radio. Okay. This is magical. If you look at my arms right now, I got goosebumps right now. Now, also, not to push Barbara, but you did receive this wonderful award from a city that's embracing you, giving you a whole hug. Do you want to give anything back? I'm just saying.
Exactly. So, because it felt so good to win something, I want to offer this kind of energy to the teens that are listening to us. So I wanted to offer half price for photo shoot that I can do with them. So I need to understand, because I'm new to the show. I want to understand what they need. So if they need a headshot or more creative photo shoot for their portfolio, maybe, or if they also are actors on the side of sports, I will be happy to offer them half price for the 10 first people who contact me.
Super. Okay, give your contact information. We'll just throw it out. It's kind of like angel dust. We'll throw it out to the universe.
Yeah.
Let's say the code is just say Teen Sports Radio. Make it easy.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So what's your contact?
So they can go on my website. It's my first and last name, barbaradoux.com. And Doux, it's spelled D for Delta, O-U-X.
Nice. Something, honestly, truthfully, heart that we really appreciate that. Seriously. That is quite a gift and it's very appreciative. It is totally what Santa Barbara is about. Okay. It's because caring is sharing, baby, all day. All right. Without any further ado, we've got Dominique here. We have our producer, Dr. D, and we have an amazing special guest, Melissa Cronshaw. I found you on Nextdoor. Okay. I love Nextdoor. Okay. I know some people hate it. I know. I love it. And it was like bing, diddy, bing. I think it was 80 people responded and 10 of them were about you. So you got a name. Okay. Because you're up there. It was really nice. Yeah. It's like over 5,000 people have been reached by, you just on Nextdoor. So I really appreciate that. So let's tell the people a little bit about you, Melissa. Talk to me.
Wait, before we do that, can I pull a card for Melissa? Just for
yes.
Oh,
yes,
look at how she pushed me. Okay, fine. Wow. Okay.
So Melissa, just let me know when you want me to stop shuffling. I'm shuffling my cards right now.
Okay. Stop.
Okay. And do you want me to start from, or do you want me to pick from the top, the bottom, or the middle?
The middle.
Okay. And do you want the top of the bottom or the bottom of the top?
Bottom of the top.
Bottom of the top.
Here we go. Drum roll.
Bum, 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 bum. No. Okay, so this is the Prince of Pentacles.
Ooh.
And this card, this isn't actually my favorite card of the Prince of Pentacles, but this one, basically the Prince of Pentacles is about kind of mastering the material realm. And in the deck that I work with, the Sun and Moon Tarot, it's the Prince of Pentacles chariot is being pulled by a bull just about to take off. And he's also driving his chariot with a globe. And so it's like there's a global impact. There are things that are just really about to take off for you right now. And
Seriously?
then also, yeah. And if you're about
Right?
to, it also involves travel. So anyways, it's a nice pretentious card for, all the things that you're taking on and moving forward with. Thank you.
That seems very
That
fitting,
is
actually.
so
I love this.
magical because Melissa is all about the bees. What a global impact.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Very cool. All right, so let's do this. Since we do the card, we got a little end on a bright spot. Let's share some time. We support the community for the last 15 years, our local leaders, nonprofits, businesses. So let's give 2 minutes out. We'll be right back with more after these messages.
We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
Every single Tuesday.
9 a.m.
Where we are welcoming Melissa Cronshaw. Cronshaw.
Cronshaw.
There you go. I like it. See, now everybody's going to know your last name. Okay.
Yes.
I'm really excited. I want to start off with the first question because I see all this information out there. We had last week Nick Weigel, the rescue guy, out here.
Bee rescue.
Yeah, bee rescue. And my first question is this, and because this was brought to my attention, okay, people are like, hey, we don't have a problem. We're a bee city. Look, we've got this big bee city, proud to be a bee city. So do we have a problem or don't we have a problem? Because I don't understand how are we getting, accolades or awards for being a bee city? So what's really going on?
It's not really the best. But it is a way to bringing attention to what is going on in a city. The award at one point was given with the best intention that we were making strides and, doing things to prevent more decline in our bee numbers. But over the years, it's kind of something that's been kind of pushed to the side, I would say. So I don't believe there's a whole lot still going on to make an effort, but there's a lot that we could be doing.
Okay. All right. So anybody?
Melissa, how did you get into caring for bees?
How did I get into bees? Well, I mean, in short answer, my name Melissa actually means honeybee. So I was always drawn to them. I was called by the bees to be a part of their world. But bigger answer is actually my father. He had a high school teacher here at Santa Barbara High, Mr. Torres, who had an observation hive in the back of his classroom. And my dad said he listened to the bees more than he listened to the teacher when he was in high school.
Oh.
So he ordered from a Sears catalog. He actually ordered his first beehive and it was delivered in the mail. And he just, as he says, caught bee fever. And the only way to work with that is to just have bees. So he always had bees as a hobby. He was a teacher by trade himself. And I just kind of grew up with bees in the backyard, could just go out in the garage and take bites of honeycomb when I desired. So it was just kind of part of my lifestyle. I would use bees as any kind of a science project because it was easy and he would do half the work for me. But then I learned, the intricacies of the bee world and how amazing it is. And I caught bee fever myself. And here I am. 35 years later, and I've been now taking over all of the work that he's done and added to it actually in the way of making it a business, whereas he just did it for a fun hobby.
Fun. So when you say making it a business, are you talking about honey or just taking care of other people's bees? How does that work?
So I actually focus on education. Honey is more of a byproduct, I would say. Honey itself is actually bees' survival food. They make it for themselves, and then humans have just learned how to manipulate them to take some of their honey. I focus more on the health and well-being of the ecosystem, and part of that involves having healthy bees. And if you have healthy bees, then you will have, extra honey that you can utilize. But my focus is on mentoring and education. I do work with schools. I have a couple schools that have worked with grants to increase their pollinator education. And part of that actually includes putting a beehive on the property as long as they have a beekeeper on hand to, assist or help and teach. So I'm working with a couple schools, teaching a couple of their teachers how to work with the bees. And then other schools I go into with observation hives. And some people I do mentor in their backyards. But as for honey, that's what I will actually say, the little bit of exploitation of the bees.
Turning bees into slaves. Unfortunately.
Work with,
a little bit.
Work with Meghan Markle on her cooking show? Because did you see? It was the first episode had her doing bees, and it's a local guy that was on it. I can't remember his name, but it was really, I thought it was great to be able to see something like that. That's probably going to pick up a lot of people seeing that, so that because it's about the conversation and having people more interested in it. And everyone I've ever seen speak about bees, it's fascinating to see. Like, how they mate, it is fascinating. And it to me, I think is so great that you're in schools. Do you want to share which schools you're in?
I mean, I've been doing presentations for the last 12 years. So I've actually been to probably over 50 schools just in the Santa Barbara area. The other day, I actually was down in Westlake for a school down there. So I'm all over the place, but I've worked with like Montecito Union, Franklin, Cleveland, a lot of the preschools, San Marcos Parent-Child Workshop. My dad used to be a teacher at La Cuesta High School, so he used to teach beekeeping there. Really, there's been
That's going to be the future of getting people to get on board, is educating at that level.
So go ahead. I just want to know how bad, after last week, I mean, I was traumatized all week after Nick was on. I mean, do we have a crisis, or what do we need to do? I you said like plant seeds. So we even went out and bought a bunch of seeds, acacia landscaping. Dominique's actually family is all on board. They're starting a residential wing. If anybody wants to have their lawn seeded, they've got this pollinator mix available now for people. So how bad is it?
Well, it depends actually on really the industries that we're looking at. The commercial beekeeping industry, they are really the ones suffering the most.
Okay.
And then when it comes down to the smaller scale, like backyard hobbyists, we actually are, I would say, doing kind of best. And a lot of that then also comes down to the practices surrounding the beekeeping. For myself, I consider myself a treatment-free or natural beekeeper. So I do not treat my bees with any sort of chemicals, whether they be, natural. I use air quotes for that because some are considered like formic acid, which, yes, is a natural produced acid, but it is still a chemical that I am introducing into the hive to manipulate it in some way. And most of these treatments are for the purpose of pests and problems that the bees are suffering. So being a natural or treatment-free beekeeper, I focus more on the health and well-being of the bees in natural ways, focusing on genetics. So having bees that are genetically capable of handling their own problems with their own pests and, being able to survive in there with minimal intervention, those are the bees that I work with and want to propagate and, continue to help spread. So the commercial beekeeping world is challenging because they use a lot of treatments. Today, you can actually buy an artificially inseminated and vaccinated queen bee.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Did not know that.
No. And
so sad.
The saddest thing about that is, again, being part of the beekeeping world since, my dad started back in the 70s. He has been, starting out in that commercial world where it's the standard beekeeping practices, treating your bees, feeding your bees, sugar, water, all of that. And over the course of my life, I've actually seen the transition over to the natural treatment-free side. So now we both practice in a natural treatment-free way. And when I first started beekeeping with him, we used to say that the queen bee specifically, would live 5 to 7 years. And now the common number that we throw around is only 3 to 5 years.
Wow.
And I personally do feel that part of that is because of this just over manipulation and intervention of the honeybees. Exactly.
But we have a natural bee crisis for our natural native bees, right? Not natural, but native bees.
Yes. And that's actually a different topic. And that's partially because all of the focus has been on honeybees. Right. Honeybees have been under the spotlight since we started, working in our agriculture system. And part of that is because they're a eusocial creature. So they're extremely resilient and extremely, easy to manipulate in a sense when you understand how they work. And so we can, move them around. We can ship them. One year we needed to pollinate our almonds and there weren't enough bees in the US. So they actually flew bees over from Australia.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of, a lot that we can do with honeybees. But in North America alone, we have 4,000 species of native bees. Wow. So with only the one getting the spotlight, yes, the other ones are suffering immensely because they also need completely different habitats. And, some of them only rely on one species of plant for food sources.
Nice.
So they're the really important ones that, we kind of need to open that spotlight a little more now.
Right. So what we're going to do is that we got the topic already ready for next week is the native bees. Okay. But we are so blessed that you're going to be sitting at our table and we have got Ryan Quirk waving to us. And after he goes, we've got Emily Yurcheshen and Dominique, and we will be back with all of those right after these messages.
We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday,
9 a.m.
Welcome back, Teen Sports Radio. My name is Ryan Quirk, here with another self-mastery story for you all. Each week I've been giving little snippets, little stories from my life about times that I learned lessons in hopes that maybe some of the lessons that I have learned can rub off on you guys as well and whoever may be listening. And this story this week is related to sports. I was playing a men's league hockey game the other day. I'm in the process of transferring colleges where I might be going somewhere to play college hockey, but in the meantime, I've been doing Tuesday and Wednesday night men's league hockey, which is pretty good competition. It might not be the same as college hockey, but it's pretty good. And we were recently playing a game where I was really tired from a full day of work. And I work as a server and I was kind of on my feet all day and I was super tired and I go to this game and I really wanted to win, like really, really wanted to. Kind of had a bit of a tough day. And so we started playing the game and immediately things were just kind of going wrong. I get onto the ice late because I was coming just straight from work, didn't get a chance to get a proper meal in. We go down 2 goals. And for those of you who don't know, I play hockey. So that's what I was playing, ice hockey. And we go down 2 goals right away. And I feel myself getting frustrated and angry. And when the game keeps going on, and I think by the end of the second period, we were down 7-3. And in hockey, that's a pretty fair deficit. Like if you're down,
that's 7, a spanking. Just say
going into the third period, you're probably going to lose. And the night before, in my other game, we had lost as well and lost pretty handedly. I think we lost 10-3, and I had a really bad game then. And I was just feeling a little overwhelmed. I think if you're an athlete out there, that sometimes your emotions on the court or on the ice or on the field can also tie in with your emotions in your day-to-day life. And if you're feeling overwhelmed in your day-to-day life, especially if you're a student athlete or you're working or anything like that, those things can bubble back up while you're playing. And the night before, I'd let my emotions get the best of me. I got angry. I took a stupid penalty. I was in the penalty box. We lost the game and it didn't work out. And so I had this choice. I was feeling the anger bubble up, which is in some ways is a good thing. It means that you're passionate, you're involved in the game, but you don't want to let it take control of you. You want to take control of it. And so it was the intermission and I was getting ready to go into the final period. And I said, all right, Ryan, what do you want to do? Last night you let your anger get the best of you. You lost that game anyways. Or you can take a few deep breaths right now, recenter yourself, and just try to play your best hockey for the final period. And I decided to go with the latter option. Through my meditative practice, I've kind of built up this muscle of being able to center myself and become present. And I just took a few slow, deep breaths. I was in the locker room. I retaped my stick, kind of did some things to mentally reset. And I just made a promise to myself. I just said, regardless of the outcome, I'm just going to try to have fun and play the best hockey I can play. And going into that period, I really felt that. I felt no animosity towards the other team. They're just a bunch of good guys too that are trying to have fun on a Wednesday night, play some hockey. And so I did that, and I line up, and believe it or not, that period I scored a hat trick. We came back and we won the game.
Wow.
And now, this does not mean that every time that you decide to choose calmness over anger, that you're going to win. But for me, at the end of the night, even after scoring the hat trick and even after winning the game, I think we ended up winning like 7-6 or 8-7, just by a narrow margin. That was a great feeling, especially after the long day and everything like that. But the real win for me was that moment of power, because the most power that you can have as an athlete is personal power. It's not just your influence over the game. It's how well you control your mind, your emotions, your state of being, and how well you show up as a teammate, as a player, in sportsmanship. And that was the real win for me. It was a win of character, where instead of letting the anger get the best of me, I just said, you know what? I'm just going to have fun and play the absolute best that I can play. Maybe we'll win, maybe we lose. And we won. And that was a great feeling. And sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes you don't need some cataclysmic shift to change anything in your life, whether it's on the field or in a sport or it's in your academics or anything like that. Sometimes all you need is to recenter yourself for a few deep breaths. Remember that you are a human being and that you can only focus on one thing at a time. You can't focus on 10 things at once. Your to-do list might have 20 items, but at any given moment, you can only do one. So you might as well enjoy it. You might as well be present. And one of the best ways to become present again is just to take a few deep breaths. I don't know if Erica, you were an athlete in multiple sports. Have emotions ever gotten the best of you? Has there been times where you've tried to become more present on the field or in your sport? How does that look for you?
I was always I had the biggest mouth always. You could hear me on the next field. If we were playing soccer, then you could hear me on the track. You know what I'm saying? So what I really tried to do, and what I loved about your story is that the person that you fired up more is like the guy who kept feeding it to you, who was probably just having a C+ game, but you gave the team hope. And that's such a powerful thing, because we want to win at the end of the day. And sometimes all you need to get is that spark. And then you get people believing, and then really it builds, right? And when it builds up like that, the other team, what happens to them? Then they get scared, because it's like, oh God, score after score after score. Now it's tie, right? And like, oh my God, we're going to lose. And then as soon as that gets in your head, that's exactly what happens. That other team wasn't taking a break and saying, nobody on that team at that time is like, hey, look, we got this. We didn't have a Ryan on the other team. You know what I'm saying? To be able to stop that energy. Nobody threw you up against the wall. That would have been me. I'm just saying, you need to slow this guy down. All right. We had one team like that we played. I played West Monaco, so we played all the kind of Christian-y kind of school. But we did play this one. Now let's just say it was not a very Christian school. Anyway, we were doing so well, we were winning, and then across to my side, when I was ready to release the ball, some girl just came in and kicked me, actually cracked my rib. So it's like they wanted to take me out. I could barely. I probably lost like 90% of my breath. It was just, pushing against my lungs. I could barely, and I told the coach, you are not taking me out. And then unfortunately what happened, the ball rolled back down to me within a few minutes, and I drop kicked it. And sadly, the ball hit her in the face. I don't know what happened. I don't know. And it broke her nose. So it was like, holy cow. And of course, we as a team went around and we prayed for her. Nobody prayed for me. I'm just saying, let's just keep that. Let's keep that. This is history that we don't want to change history, but we did pray for her. But I'm not going to lie, and I'm proud to say that I'm a proud Westmont graduate. But I did thank God, but it wasn't because we wished her well. You know what I'm saying? I did thank God for that. Really, it was a 1 in a million shot. You know what I'm saying? It was unbelievable.
Well, the interesting thing in all this is the breath. And it's amazing to try to teach teens that part of your personal power is your pause. And that when you pause to breathe, that's what's empowering you.
That's true.
Yeah. 100%. There's a great idea that I heard from Timothy Galway. He wrote this amazing sports psychology book called The Inner Game of Tennis. I highly recommend it for any athlete. Doesn't matter if you're a tennis player or not. And one of the things he says is that in the outer game of life, there's always going to be wins and losses. In the outer game of tennis or football or soccer, you're going to win and you're going to lose. And that's just how it is. But the one game that you can always win, or at least win even if you lose the outer game, is the inner game. And the inner game is your choice of character. It's how you show up with your sportsmanship. And it's not attaching so much to the outcome. It's deciding to play your best, whether you win or lose, deciding to be a good teammate, whether you win or lose. And I think, Erica, to your point, one of the big things that helped us win that game when we were down is not only that just I individually became more present, focusing on my breath,
right?
But also because other people on our team didn't go into that kind of blame mode, like, oh, it's the goalie's fault, and started picking on our teammates. We just said, all right, guys, we got one more period. Let's just do our best and let's lift each other up. And you could really feel it's a palpable energy that you can feel when teammates choose to lift each other up and not bring each other down. And part of that starts with the breath, with presence, and just deciding to do your best, winning the inner game, not just the outer game.
That's one of those little moments that you can put on your shelf too. Your shelf of life. You'll talk about it 30 years from now. You'll go back again and talk about that game because it doesn't happen all the time. It just doesn't. And that's why you have those onesies. I mean, I have a handful of those as well, but again, and it's something I could always reach in the bag because you're going to need that in life, whether, say, you get fired or your girlfriend dumps you or you flunk a test, the teacher truly doesn't like you, hates hockey. You know what I'm saying? Hate hockey people.
Yep.
Think it's a dumb sport. Don't say you're a hockey guy.
Yeah.
As you walk in with your hockey shirts.
Yeah. No, I've definitely had some teachers like that. And I guess as a final reminder is, whether you're on the court or on the field or off the field, is just focus on one thing at a time, one play at a time, one shift at a time. When you try to do the whole game all at once, things tend not to do well. Same thing in life. You got things you got to do. You got your to-do list. But only if you will overwhelm yourself if you try to focus on more than one thing at a time. And when you do that, and when you do focus on one thing at a time, and you just do your best, and you just detach from the outcome, and you focus on your breath, things tend to go pretty well. Whether you win or lose, they tend to go pretty well, and you'll have a lot more fun in the process. And that's really the whole point, right? That's the point of life. You got to have fun.
There you go.
We got to get going, but I know you're an action kind of kid. And I really appreciate, leaving awareness to all of your friends as far as the whole food freedom movement. You're really good about that, starting to buy your produce from the markets and do all that. And I told you that's a great place to pick. All you need to do is walk somebody's dog. It's a great place to pick up, you know what I'm saying? It's a good hookup place. But I'm trying to give you little tips. But listen, I know you've been listening to the show about the bees and everything, and you were telling me something you were doing, and I thought it was adorable. What is that?
Yeah, so whenever I'm on a walk, sometimes I'll have a little bit of flour mix or a little bit of seeds, and I try to just lay them down on the side wherever I see fresh soil. And one of the other things I've been doing too is, like you said, trying to shop more through farmers. There's this little farmer's stand right down from my place, and right next to it is a big Vons and like other kind of big chain grocery stores. But I go there and I get the freshest papaya. That's my preferred pregame meal or snack. I cut it open, a little bit of lime or a lemon on top. It's absolutely delicious. Kids, if you're out there listening, fresh fruit is one of the best things you can put on your body, and you can only get fresh fruit from fresh fruit stands, not these big chain grocery stores, but these farmers markets, these, buy from farmers. No bees, no food, No
bees, no food. I love it. All right. Thank you so much. Maybe we'll see you next week. Depends upon school.
We will see you next week.
Fantastic. We've got Ryan Quirk in the house. And
thank you so much.
And if you wanted to jump on Amazon and pick up his book, it is called
The Journey of Self-Mastery. There was a little glitch with Amazon, so it should be up in the next few days. It was up already, but you should see it on there. The Journey of Self-Mastery by Ryan Quirk.
Nice. Thank you. All right. Let's give some love to our local merchants. Be back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday,
9 a.m.
Hi, teens and families. This is Emily the Songbird with another episode of Teen Tones entitled Strange Sensitive Senior Saga. Have you ever experienced the visceral grip of fear in your body? The kind where you wake in the middle of the night with thoughts of unworthiness swirling around your head. There's a rock in your tummy and your throat feels strangled. Do you ever feel like the strange other has taken over your body? Perhaps it's before a big game, race, or the first time you stand on stage to sing or give a speech. Great. Then you might get this strange saga. That's how I felt at 3 a.m. a few mornings ago. Actually, many mornings these past 50 years. I've been a sensitive soul on this strange spiraling planet. Writing music has helped me navigate the deep emotional adventure that I embark on every day. Here's a line from a song that I wrote called Sensitive Soul. Storms will brew inside of you. That's just the way the story goes when you're a sensitive soul. Well, it turns out my inner knowing has been affirmed by science, according to the author of the Highly Sensitive Person book series, which includes being a parent to a highly sensitive child. The author, Elaine Aron, shares that 15 to 20% of the population are highly sensitive people. In her books, she outlines the gifts and challenges of HSPs. She also gives you a quiz to take to discover if you fit the qualities. The best part about learning that I fit this category is that HSPs are actually born leaders. But because they are so likely to pick up on others' energies, they need to learn how to step into their own power so they don't give away the gifts that may lie dormant or hidden within them. I made this HSP discovery 25 years ago when I was teaching teens in an international school in Portugal. No wonder that my classroom became the safe haven for HSPs, a place where the deeply emotional, creative, and highly intuitive students would gather to share their deepest fears and wildest dreams. I loved it when kids would share with me their personal poetry. Just recently, I saw this sensitivity mirrored back to me as I made a new friend at the gym. She's also a music teacher and, like me, loves to see her students blossom as they gain confidence to express themselves through song. Finding our true voice is important for everyone, but especially for highly sensitive people because it's a beautiful way to connect and affirm our deeper knowing. And this is where our power lies. I told her that I had an epiphany about tuning that morning, which is simply that singing and playing songs I love is the way I tune up for the day. Dear listeners, do you have rituals to tune yourself for your day? When I awoke at 3 a.m., I listened to a video that talked about this special sacred morning time. And if you are awake during this time, to sit quietly and breathe deeply. Prana, or breath, is the foundation for sacred practices such as yoga. But is also the first step in singing, and also called diaphragmatic breathing, or in simple terms, belly breathing. Inhaling deeply for a count of 4, holding for 4, and exhaling or box breathing is a great way to start and end your day, or any time when you find yourself in an anxious mode. I have to admit, my anxiety kicked up during this time of transition for me a few weeks ago when I decided to finally make the leap and move to a new home. The funny thing is, the leap is just about the shortest distance that I could possibly go, literally across the street. But I've stepped into a portal. For now, I moved into a swanky senior living community. It's upscale and for the elderly, which I am inching toward, but technically not quite of legal age. But my new housemate is, and as long as I'm 45, I fit the age limit for a roommate. One of the perks of this place is that it has a clubhouse that not only has a gym, but a gathering room that has a real piano. See, on one of the items I had to cart across the street is my trusty dusty keyboard. It's great, but is limited in its power and resonance. So part of my new morning ritual is to get to my workup garb on, grab my piano books, and the loose sheets of music that I've been working on for years, like that last section of Für Elise that never quite gets perfected, or Chopin's Nocturne and Clair de Lune, which is so much easier in the key of C. That, along with my favorites like Elton John's Your Song and my all-time beloved Can't Help Falling in Love with You. I sit solitary on the bench, even though I know there is video surveillance watching my every move. When I fill my soul, then I go work out my body. It's a great morning combo to tune up. Now here's confession and coping time, and even perhaps a little moral to this whole strange, sensitive senior saga. Transitions are tough sometimes. There's a part of us that clings to the past and even needs time to grieve. I no longer live alone, so my days of belting out Don't Stop Believing at 5:30 a.m. are limited to times when my housemate renews her passport and flies to Ireland, or wakes up with me and decides she wants to try harmonizing. And sometimes we fight and resist change at deep subconscious levels, and we may even try to numb the fear and pain of change. My vice of choice is peanut butter chocolate chip Lara bars, the quote healthy version of a Snickers bar. I guess I would attempt to sum it up like this. I would say the only sure thing in life is change. We are seeing it in the big screen in our world, and it shows up on the personal lives on a daily basis. Through this transition, I am relearning how to be gentle and compassionate with myself, to set healthy boundaries with new and old friends, and most importantly, listen for the voice of my deep knowing. Whether it's a move to a new home, school, or trying out a new sport or instrument, it's worth the risk. If you take a few minutes every morning to listen, you will learn to trust the tiny voice inside of you that will tell you when it's time to take a leap, and will guide you every step of the way to enjoy the adventure as it unfolds. It's like the lines from a song I wrote a few years back called Smile and Be Free. You are loved deeper than you'll ever see. You are loved wider than you'll ever know. You are loved always and forever. Smile and be free. For more stories and songs, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Emily the Songbird 2306, and visit my website, emilythesongbird.com, for info on lessons, coaching, gigs, and my Find Your Song online guitar class. Have a magical, musical, and miraculous day in harmony, gratitude, and joy. Emily the Songbird.
We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday,
9 a.m.
Hello, hello, beautiful teens. This is Dominique Hackett here. And in case you've ever wondered, yes, I am 60 years young, mother of 5, and president of Santa Barbara Wellness Center. You're tuned in to Teen Sports Radio, where we don't just talk about sports, we talk about life, purpose, and the path you're paving to your future. All right, let's have some real talk. You ever wonder why you're suddenly seeing ads for shoes after talking about them, maybe only once? It's not magic. Alas, obviously, AI, Google, everybody's listening to us. It's called the attention economy. Companies have been throwing everything they can at your eyeballs. YouTube ads, TikTok influencers, even those weird suggestions on Amazon. They're in a race for your attention, because where your attention goes, your money might flow. Right? Okay. But here's the twist, and this is wild. With AI now in the game, we're shifting into something new called the intention economy. See, AI doesn't just look for what you've clicked on. Oh no, it is studying your choices, what you watch late at night, what your Spotify playlists say about your mood, where you went on vacation, who you follow, what books you add to your cart, and never ever buy, right? It's like a digital psychic is trying to predict what you might want next. So here's the part that just blows my mind. What if instead of just selling you stuff, that same tech could help you invent something new? I mean, I'm talking about jobs that don't even exist yet. Wellness AI coaches for athletes. Actually, that's starting to happen. Virtual sustainability architecture, designing eco-cities in a metaverse. So you can design a city, test it out, see that it all works before you actually build it on planet Earth. How about emotional support bots that actually get you because they've seen your memes? How about new sports built for virtual arenas? Yeah, that's all starting to happen, right? How about environmental coders cleaning our oceans using tech? So AI is going to change everything. How we work, how we learn, how we play, even how we love. But here's the real question. How do we make sure we're the ones steering the ship? Because if we're not careful, we're just going to keep buying what AI thinks we want instead of becoming who we're meant to be. So here's your Dominique Hackett life lesson of the day. Start choosing with intention. Don't scroll blindly. Pause. Reflect. Ask yourself, is this me or is this the algorithm talking, right? Your power is in your pause. That pause, that's where your future gets designed. A future where we use AI to reduce homelessness. How about create a world where food is shared and not wasted? How about a planet where people care more about each other than the next virtual dance, right? Imagine it and then build it, because the world doesn't need more passive consumers. The world needs creatives. It needs caring doers like you. So stay curious, stay kind, and above all, you've got this. With love from Dominique Hackett and Santa Barbara Wellness Center. So go out there and dream your future, because your future depends on it. It really does.
Nice. All right, teens, ask yourself, choosing what to focus on, or are you actually being programmed? So stay awake. All right, let's stay curious and let's protect our energy. A heartfelt thank you to Melissa's Bees. She's accepted the seat at the table, so we're excited about that. Everybody give down a big old wave. Co-host. Yeah. Much love and gratitude to all my incredible co-hosts. It's always a gift to share the space with you. Remember, you're listening to Teen Sports Radio on KZSB AM FM stations, the station that talks about Santa Barbara. Stay kind, stay strong, and bye for now.